My DMVPN speed run that I'm going to do for the DMVPN for Dummies blog post that I'm doing. I want to preface by saying this is my second attempt at the video. I'm not referencing any documentation. The only reason I'm doing a second pass on it is because I didn't like the tunnel IPs that I gave, and I started mumbling into the microphone, and I didn't want to publish that. So, so no documentation, look ma, no hands, I'm calling it. So I'm going to get a basic DMVPN set up, hopefully under 10 minutes, using EIGRP for routing, and we'll see how effective I am at it. We'll start on the hub. The hub is actually the easiest part of the config. We're going to go create a tunnel interface. We'll give it an IP address of 10.10.10.999. Of course, you got to put your mask on there. We'll say tunnel source is going to be FA00. Tunnel mode is GRE multi. IP NHRP. NHRP is how we're going to exchange next hop reachability. This guy's the hub, so we just do mapping multicast to dynamic. I did have the iOS help that in the first video, to be completely fair. We're going to say network ID, let's call it 123. And for a really basic config, that's about all you need. I'm not going to do any of the tunnel enhancements like disabling route cache and all that stuff that you're supposed to do. This is just to get the basic config of your tunnel up. All right. Then we're going to do spoke 1. And I did have to iOS help this part too. You have two map statements. The first one, you're going to map multicast to the public IP address, or the NBMA. Address of your hub, which is 99.99.99.99 for this topology. And then we're going to do an HRP. We're going to map. See if I can do this from memory. I can't. The second map, we're mapping the private address and the public address, that NHRP statement. So we'll paste that into spoke 1. And we'll do a little bit of iOS help here. We're going to map up public address first. That is not right. Private address first, then public. And then we have to set our next hop server, because this is a spoke, to the private address on the tunnel of our hub. And we should have connectivity now to be able to ping the hub. Yes, we can. The hub should show that we have a DMVPN peer. Yep, there it is. That's 11199 is the public address on spoke 1. So really all we have to do to get the tunnels up at this point is copy and paste config on each router, and then just change out the tunnel IP address. So spoke 2, spoke 3, all right, we'll make sure we can ping our hub. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Now the beautiful part about DMVPN is you're supposed to be able to build dynamic tunnels in between the spokes, which is what makes it so cool. So it should be able to ping 10.10.10.1, and we should have a dynamic peer in our DMVPN now. Yep, there it is, and spoke 1 should also see that. Yep, and just for, I mean, obviously it's going to work the same config on every router, but we'll ping 2 as well. We'll see that that's up. Show DMVPN. We'll show that we have a dynamic peer from 3 there. Cool. All right. Next thing we're going to do is set up a routing protocol. Let's do EIGRP. Call it 1. No auto. And we'll say network. Each router actually has a 192.168 address on its loopback, and that's how we're going to test reachability. And I'm going to make these wildcard statements for my networks pretty broad. That way I can just copy and paste on each device. That should work. And then special to the hub. Actually, I'll just do that without Notepad. Normally, I'd recommend using Notepad entirely, but this is actually kind of a practice video for me. So IP. So we want to do no P split horizon EIGRP1, no IP next top self EIGRP1. The reason we're disabling next top self is we want to make sure that our spokes see the tunnel address on the spoke first next hop. So that's actually really poorly explained. So if spoke 1 wants to ping the loopback of spoke 2, we don't want to see the hub as our next hop. We want to see the tunnel address on spoke 2 as the next hop in the routing table. That way it builds a dynamic tunnel and traffic doesn't flow through the hub. Again, one of the benefits of DMVPN. I'm going to check time real quick. 5 minutes, 24 seconds. Not too shabby. That should be all we have to do on the hub to use EIGRP. No split. And no next hop self. And we're going to paste this onto our spokes. Very cool. Looks like EIGRP is coming up. Check our neighbors even though we saw dual. That looks good. We'll look at the routing table on spoke 1. Show IP route EIGRP. And you'll note that the next hop information was not changed when EIGRP relayed that information. So we should be able to ping 192.168.2.1 from our loopback. We can. 3.1 from our loopback. And if we trace route, we should see that we're not going through the hub, that the communication is direct between the spokes. And it is. So, check my stopwatch real quick. Did that in under 7 minutes. I'm going to put this video up with my DMVPN for Dummies again. I think I said that at the beginning of the video, but I'm saying it again anyway. Who cares, right? Just to show that DMVPN, especially with a single hub, is not a scary setup. And so long as you have the base knowledge that you have those 2 map statements on your tunnel interfaces for spokes, and on the hub, the only map statement you have for NHRP is multicasted dynamic. So outside of that, I hope this video was somewhat informative at least, and I'll see you guys next time.